All right, welcome to Gamer Book Club, brought to you by XP Grind. We are your host for the evening, your gamers who game often, though not as much as we would have liked to lately by the sound of things. I'm sure we'll get into that later. I am username name. I'm joined by Jabin and Big Henny. Introduce yourselves, please.
Hi, I'm Jabin.
I'm your favorite parasocial bubby online, Large Henry.
I don't think you're anybody's that, but
You're not that popular yet.
We'll be talking about The Binding of Isaac, recommended to me and Big Henny by Jabin, and Nier Automata, which we recommended back to him. Before we get into that, though, I'd like to remind y'all to please like, subscribe, rate, follow, whatever platform you're watching or listening on, whatever they'll let you do to support us, please do that. It's free. It helps out immensely. And leave a comment too, YouTube or on the other platforms. I check them all. If you got thoughts, if you don't like what we're saying or something like that, you want to have a little discussion, let's make it happen.
Yeah, I might need checked a time or two personally.
You check a timer? Yeah. It's hard not to.
Yeah.
Now, boys, let's catch up a little bit before we get into these games. What's been going on with you?
Well, I rearranged my room. As I said earlier, I leg pressed my desk by myself over to the other side of the room. We're gonna be getting some lights going on and some RGB lights in the corner, so I'm gonna be well lit. It's gonna be colorful in here. I'm looking forward to that later. Still watching the NBA a lot. It's been a very exciting series so far. Not to get into too much detail, but it's been exciting. Yeah, I played both games a lot. We did a lot of gaming hours this month. I'm excited to chat about that too. So, but just been chilling. Made my first food review the other day off the whim. Don't know why I did that, but it was actually kind of fun. I think I'm gonna do more of it. So, I should have reviewed the the Big Arch, the product.
The best product.
Yeah, bro, because I thought the One Piece Popeyes meal was a ripoff because of how expensive that chicken was, just for the One Piece branding behind it. Bro, this Star Wars Mandalorian gimmick is a fucking ripoff. $27 base price to get this little collector's cup here. Pretty absurd, but,
And a blue milkshake.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. Just trying to spark my own attention span. I've been getting bored recently.
I feel
you never strike me as a man who does well to being bored. I feel like I'm similar, but you take it to another level.
And I also quit smoking, so that doesn't help.
Big.
Yeah. So no vape, no smoke, just a puff on a cigar once in a while, but I haven't even really been doing that recently. Just trying to find other things to combat boredom, because I feel like that's why a lot of us smoke. We're bored. But what you been up to, Jabin?
I mean, not too much, man. Really nothing.
Yeah.
Special. I mean, I've just been gaming, really.
Yeah.
Been playing Nier a lot. Well, the last couple of days. Didn't quite get to the goal that I needed to, but I'm planning on probably getting all the achievements in that game because I've really been enjoying it. So.
Looking forward to starting that conversation. But before we start the Binding of Isaac conversation too, I do want to kind of derail us into a first topic of discussion real quick. Is have y'all seen the trailer for the new Star Fox on the Switch 2?
I still haven't watched it, bro. I don't
either.
care, man. I'm sorry. I don't even
No,
have a Switch 2.
no,
I have no business.
You're good. Basically what I'll just say about it, it's confusing. I don't know if it looks good, if it looks bad. It's just a remake of Star Fox on the 64, which that's pretty cool. But the graphic overhaul that they did for all the characters,
it looks crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's kind of scary.
Yeah. Slippy is extra oiled up.
I'm seeing that. I'm looking at it.
Fox kind of reminds me of the first design of Sonic the Hedgehog for the first movie that looked really weird.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's kind of along that line a little bit. Yeah, it's just hard to read. It's extremely hard to read, and I can't wrap my mind around it. I don't know if it looks bad or if it's okay.
Have you guys have played Star Fox 64 then, right?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah.
No, it's not my
Oh.
type of thing. So
Gotcha. I had it as a kid, and I played quite a bit of it. But what I'm going to be honest about is they better be adding a lot of content to that game because let me tell you, that was a damn like 5 hour game. Like I could come home from school and just like beat that.
Yeah.
You know, um, and $50 for that. I don't care how pretty and or incredibly hideously ugly you make it. Uh,
I was
not
kind of
gonna.
thinking the same thing because I never played it. I only played it at like my cousin's house a couple of times because they owned it. And like there's no like fresh like I never really played it besides that. So I don't know what really is in the game besides probably just regular missions. But yeah, $50 for just like beautiful ugly Star Fox, I don't know.
Mhm.
it'll
It's interesting.
sell for nostalgia. So,
It will. Because they're rumoring that Ocarina of Time is going to be revamped like this as well for the Switch too. That's a conversation that's been happening.
Mhm.
I'll believe
And
when I see it.
yeah, that would be crazy. Like, I would actually be extremely curious to see what like the graphics look like for like a remake of Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask too, depending on which route they go. Maybe both.
You can do that with mods though as well at this time. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because what was the thing you were showing me, Jabin? With the it's not emulation, it's
it's decompilation. It's
y-
the Dusk mod.
yeah,
Princess. Yeah.
that
For like Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, there's like Ship of Harkonnen or something like that. So
yeah. Because I just got that, and that's kind of blown me away.
it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna stream that at some point, like just testing it out for a little bit. That's the only Zelda game I've fully 100%ed, like fully beat through. So I gotta try that out. I got it all locked and ready, and there's a lot of cool settings you can mess with that. But I don't know. I'm curious what decompilation will do for other video games if people don't get in trouble.
People don't get in
Big-
trouble.
Fingers crossed for this guy that made the
I know
Twilight
there's one in
Princess.
the works for Paper Mario as well. So
Mhm. Well, I saw also there's just a straight up like ROM hack of it, adding new levels and like just a whole new game in the series basically. Yeah. So what have we been gaming? I mean, obviously the games for this month, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like we haven't just talked video games outside of that because I know Big Henny, you got into some vampire crawlers pretty heavy.
I was about to say that I got over half the achievements in one day and did like a 9-hour bender when I pushed the play button.
Yeah,
have you touched it since?
Bender is the right word.
I played it 2 more times after that, and where I'm getting close. I'm getting close to like maybe fully completing it. I cleared the big castle area, and now I'm on like a different bridge, I think, or something. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to that game, but I started Nier. Like literally, Nier is what pulled me away from
Yeah.
Vampire Crawlers. I'm looking forward to going back to finishing that up.
Yeah, I do plan on going back to that too. Uh, Jabin, I haven't been seeing as much of you lately. What you been gaming on? Just the usual suspects.
Usual suspects for sure. I mean, Nier will probably be the thing I'll be gaming on for a bit before we get to our next game. And then, I mean, obviously Counter Strike has been the thing for me lately.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but other than that, I mean, really just those two and then RuneScape as well. So
You gonna help me with
what's going
my?
on here.
You gonna help me with my League of Legends adventure?
I am going to help you with your League of Legends and your venture into
Yeah,
toxicity.
yeah. I need to find out what role I want to play. I heard the easiest I think is like high or something or mid, whatever that role is. I don't know. I don't know ish about that game. So we'll
Get you up to speed.
yeah.
It's such a crazy, it's such a crazy thing to be like, it's like learning about it's like having, you've never like smoked a cigarette in your life and you like sit through like a seminar from like all these doctors being like, these are the damages, here's the pictures of your lungs, and here's this and that. And then you're like, and then they're like, on the way out, do you want a cigarette? And you're like, yes, I need that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Like you've heard all the horror stories, and then you're like, you know what? I actually will become a League of Legends player. I will.
It makes you want it more, right?
Yeah, that exactly.
Forbidden fruit.
Bro, yeah, it's like you're trying to be the Dare program for League of Legends.
I'm not trying to be anything. I just think it's funny wanting to get into that game in 2026. Like, it's just a funny concept to me, I guess.
I mean, it's a fun game.
Mhm.
Like, it's a fun concept. Plus, if you've never really like played a MOBA before, like, I'd totally understand why you want to give it a try.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only MOBA I tried was like a newer one that is like third person. Deadlock.
Oh, Deadlock. Okay.
Yeah, and I've only played. I don't know. That just felt like a hero shooter to me, not really like a MOBA.
In my opinion.
So I don't know, there's something more appetizing that League has to offer, I think. But I feel like once I'm in it, I'm gonna really start hating my life. But well, you know, you never know until we try. Have fun with our friend group with it.
It's the ranked climb that people usually start hating their life. That's
Okay,
that's the part that
Yeah.
where it gets really bad.
when people
Okay.
take it like super seriously. Yeah.
Mhm.
You'll probably have a good time if you enjoy the game. So
Yeah.
All right. So as far as news since the last time we recorded, I've got a few things here. One of them is not news per se in the sense that the news is from like the beginning of March. I just didn't hear about it till like the day after we recorded the last episode. So I'm putting it in now. Big Henny and me and Jabin, I think, talked about this a little bit, but did you hear about like Pokemon Go selling the like players' location data and like using it to build like the world's biggest like first massive like geospatial AI model?
No.
You're like, no. Yeah, essentially everybody who played Pokemon Go, and like like the whole time they were doing it, they were like basically anytime you had your camera active and were like scanning like landmarks and shit like that, you were like helping to establish like a complex array of pictures of like landmarks from every angle and every weather condition so that these like delivery drones can like do some on the fly thinking in areas where like GPS isn't accessible. And they've got it apparently down to where they can use this model to like pinpoint a location from like a photograph or something from like to within a centimeter of the exact position, which is
Wow.
great.
So you're telling me they weaponized Pokemon Go?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by it. I'll say that. But it's
Yeah.
wild to think that, like, I don't know, that sounds like a weird like plot for a movie.
It does. Doesn't it? Like the whole
Yeah.
time I was like, it was like, what? Like, because it makes sense. Okay, you know, you got all these people on their phones and they're doing this thing and it's creating all this data, all this location data. Like, if what we've learned about any kind of like application in the digital age is like if there's data existing, there's data being sold. You know what I mean? So like you knew on some level they're going to be making some money off of it, but like honestly, like normally I'm like that's such horseshit. Like you made so much money off of like you were charging me for fucking Pokeballs to catch the Pokemon, and then you're also like selling my life experience and like the labor I'm generating and like double dipping on my time in your game. Like normally I'm pissed off about it, but like I'm almost just blown away by like just how absurd this whole like this feels like the plot line of like a Blade Runner 2045 or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it feels like we're in the day of future. Like I'm just like stunned. I'm stun locked by it.
Like the information was there. They're like, let's use Pokemon Go. Look at all this information we have.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, you get 500. What was it? 500. Like in the first week of the game launching or something, it had like 500 million people
That's
download
crazy.
it. Like, it's yeah.
I mean, that's why they say if something's free, you're the product.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Is true. You know, to put like a more positive spin on it, because this did get me thinking. Like, you know, people, not to get like too political or anything, but people always say like, oh, you need capitalism. Like, you can't have like a communist or like a moneyless society, right? Where like people aren't incentivized to work with like a financial incentive. You know, people always say that shit. And then you see people like, I'm gonna go in and build an exact 1-to-1 model of Tokyo inside of Minecraft for like no fucking reason. Or you see like this, like they managed to give get people to do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of hours of like data aggregation for them, you know. Like they didn't have to do Google Streetcars send people send an operation out. Like they got all this labor for free to build this model, you know, and they did it just by dangling a little carrot of a fucking video game in front of people. And so I'm like, why can't we weaponize that? You know what I mean? Like to me, this is it's a dystopian capitalist thing, but in a way, it's almost the exact opposite. Where I'm like, we literally have.
We got to get rid of Pokemon.
We can get people to do anything. We can get people to do any kind of labor.
We have had too many doom and gloom talks about Pokemon. Yeah. Like people are dying over Pokemon. There's people losing tournaments over Pokemon, and now we're data farming through Pokemon Go around the world.
Yeah,
it'll just be something else if not Pokemon. So.
Yeah,
that's true.
Dude, yeah, I'm baffled. This is the Pokemon End of the World podcast.
Yeah, every week it's like, how is Pokemon destroyed?
Yeah, literally, this is the third episode in a row. Hey, there's more bad news and it involves Pokemon. This one's like actually really, really serious. Like all of them have been serious. I'll say that. Maybe not as much as the poor guy who lost a tournament. But yeah, what we got there? Gyarados? Okay.
Card's like $200.
Damn. But
hoping that was really young. So
30 billion images of urban landmarks crowdsourced from players. Like 30 billion is a lot.
That is crazy.
That's a big ass number. And then the only other thing I had on the news front, which I assume this is going to be a no from Jab and a yes from Big Henny, but did y'all see that Resident Evil trailer?
Yep. Did you didn't see it yet, did you, user?
Oh, there's a movie.
No, I watched it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to watch it because I don't watch trailers for movies I know I'm going to see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, because the whole point to me of a trailer is like to sell you on the movie. I'm already sold. I'll watch any movie with Zach Kreger's name on it that gets put into a theater from now on. You know what I mean? Like, when you're running Barbarian into weapons, you got me in a hard lock. Like I got season tickets.
Well, trailers for me is impatience with a hard chub in my pants about things I'm excited about. You don't need to market to me. I got to look at it now. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I liked what I saw. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I really liked what I saw too. You see that big ass creature that looked like me in the sewers?
For reference to the audio only listeners, Big Henny does not look like that creature whatsoever. That is like a bald man, first of all. Like he's super pale. You're like, darkly colored ginger hair and like tan. Like you're just a plus size individual. You're not.
We got to get him up on the screen.
Yeah, he is like 800 pounds.
God. You've got to work on your self-image issues.
I think the fans could smell irony when it's being spoken. That didn't make sense, but
I think of a boomer from Left 4 Dead.
He's a little boomer coded. But man, that trailer looks crazy, dude. Like it's finally a movie that is off of the vibe. Like it's a movie written about like the overall like environment of the world rather than a story. This is just a random guy surviving in the world of Resident Evil, and it's like depicted as like a really cool looking horror movie. I know you don't like horror games, but do you like horror movies, Jabin?
I would actually be more likely to play a horror game than watch a horror movie, I think.
Okay.
Like I want to play the Resident Evil games. So
right.
I'm going to play those.
Like, dude, this movie, it looks like you didn't know it was Resident Evil. It just looks like a fucking terrifying horror movie. That's what I'll say. Like it looks. That's why I think it looks so unique. But what were your thoughts, user, when you watch it?
I don't know. I didn't get the sense of it being like particularly scary. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just just kind of jaded off of weapons because I love weapons. It was like my favorite movie that did not debut on YouTube Shorts of last year. But that movie's not very scary. Like, there's a couple of moments that really got you kind of on the edge of your seat, with like one of them kind of ending in like a cheap-ish jump scare. But like, to me, it's like, it's really more like a suspense mystery kind of like it wasn't, like, I wasn't like or anything, So
Well,
I'm guessing maybe I'm just not expecting that with this, but I get the sense it's almost going to be more like I don't know, I feel like it's going to be like, because it's Resident Evil and it is that vibe. Like, I got the sense this is almost going to be like an action movie with some tense, and not like an action movie like an 80s like machismo kind of action movie, but like, there's going to be a lot of like chases and a lot of fast-paced action, not necessarily like an action movie, but just intense situations with like, cutting off the lights and making it real claustrophobic and stuff to generate that horror. That was kind of the sense that I got just from watching the trailer. But
yeah, I watched an interview from that Zach Krager already spoke of about the movie when the trailer dropped, and he said what's really cool is there are like one-of-one replicas from the games, and the main game he did focus on was Resident Evil 4. That's the one he's most familiar with. So a lot of like the actual pot designs that hold like the herbs and stuff that you can find in the game are like one-of-one, like just insert into the movie. And he said that he is focusing on like a big survival horror aspect of the movie, like the games are. Like in the trailer, the guy's kind of rummaging around looking for items and like weapons and bullets and stuff. Like, he wants like the feeling of playing the game to translate over into the movie, like as much as he can. So obviously that means action as well, if he's saying Resident Evil 4, because to me that is an action game more than a horror game. So it felt more survival horror from the trailer, in my opinion, but I'm glad that they're keeping a lot of like the meat and potatoes, I feel like, away from the trailer. I think we're gonna have a pretty good treat this September when it comes to theaters.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it almost felt more like a teaser. Even like, I know it is a full trailer, but like, you don't really get a sense of the narrative other than like, something either chases him or he breaks down or whatever, and he gets to the house and he's like asking around for help and there's nobody there, and then some weird shit's going down. Like, that's like the setup, but you're not really getting like, like we saw just a really. Is the big henny in the sewers? Is that even like the only like creature we saw in the trailer? Like, I don't remember.
No,
It's been
because I was about to say, I think you're missing on some disturbing imagery that I was thinking of that actually I thought looked scary. Was like the weird like female woman thing coming out of the door, folding out like that. That was like, I've never seen something like that in a horror movie before. So I was like, okay, that's creative.
That honestly felt more Silent Hill than Resident Evil.
It did.
Like, that designed it.
Yeah. But it was.
What were you Jabin? Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask: is it still supposed to have Leon, or is it like a different?
No, no, it's an original story. It's just like in the world of Resident Evil.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the comments of the trailer were making jokes saying it was about a specific NPC. I don't know what they're referring to, but I guess there's an NPC that got like fucked over in the beginning of one of the games, and it's just like trapped like around a bunch of monsters. They're like, yeah, he wrote a movie about him.
Maybe.
So that if that's, I mean, that is kind of within his style of humor. That would be kind of funny. But yeah, that's what they're joking about.
Yeah, apparently the whole script like leaked a few months ago. Like, it's all been out there.
That's crazy.
But I have not I didn't even want to watch the trailer. I only did it so that we could talk about it on here. But so I'm definitely not reading the script beforehand. But yeah, apparently, I mean, it seems like a lot of people know an awful lot about this movie already. But I'm just like trying to go. I'm just gonna be there day one, bro. I don't need convincing.
Right.
So the people who watch movies, but before they watch it, they read the ending. They're really eaten over this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They got the super advanced. The people who gotta watch a video essay to hit that play button are also eating good. I would like Jabin to take over. You recommended this game. Give us a little bit of your background on it, and then ask us some questions. You know.
The game I recommended to these guys was Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Minus, which doesn't have like any of the newest DLCs and stuff, but I wanted them to give a taste of it without having to pay. I think it's like $50 for all the DLCs. But they do definitely improve the game. But what I will say about the game, I have played Binding of Isaac off and on for years. I think I discovered this game in like 2010 or 11, probably when it came out, the original game, just Flash Isaac. And when I first saw it, I was like immediately in love because although I have not beat very many Zelda games, I love Zelda 1, and Binding of Isaac just really gives me that feeling of the first Zelda game, with how the dungeons are. So that's what I really fell in love with. And then I just found out that I do enjoy like bullet hells, if you could consider it a bullet hell, kind of is. As far as like Rebirth goes, I actually came onto that one late because I was so attached to the Flash version. But I eventually got Rebirth and all the DLCs, and I have now. I mean, I've gotten all the achievements on Steam. I think it's something like 641 achievements, so just every item pretty much. Mm-hmm. And I have around close to 600 hours in the game. And I feel like I have a pretty good technical understanding of a lot of the game itself and a lot of the items. So, but yeah, it's a really fun game, and I just really wanted these guys to play it. I've always asked User if he's played it and stuff like that, because I just feel like it'd be really up his alley. I'm not sure if it was or not as much as I would have liked him to be, but yeah, I mean, what are you guys thinking?
First, I want to say real quick, I was talking ish towards User, saying that I was gonna mollywop him in this challenge here. You know, you remember that we're getting a little competitive.
Gamer.
Yeah, that was the real athlete. He's gonna join the stream. Yeah, that was honestly, I like that. We need to bring that level of energy to every recording going forward. It's got to be, we got to be racing to beat these games.
Yeah,
we got to be like, trying to show each other up. That was a lot of fun.
Because hey, I had a really, really rough start, and I was like, man, I look foolish right now. But then as like I was playing the game and I didn't give up, bro. I could lay a mean demonstration out right now.
Yeah, that'll be the bonus at the end of the podcast, is a Binding of Isaac run featuring Big Henny's athleticism.
Yeah.
We'll do a speed run. We'll see who gets there first.
Yeah, let's do that. But no, let you take the floor real quick, User. I just wanted to throw that little context in real quick.
Yeah, so I remember, I don't know if it was you, Jabin, or if it was Hero, but probably circa somewhere like 2014-ish. That's the first time I played Binding of Isaac, because I played a run of it via one of you two. And I didn't super rock with it then. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate to let you down, but I didn't super rock with it this time either. I'd like to think I gave it a fair shake. I think that you're right on the money with like the Zelda 1 comparison in like a purely mechanical sense. Like, yeah, the map layouts and like it has like the little, when you find a secret room, it damn near plays the jingle, like, the legally distinct version and everything. you know, you got your keys, you got your bombs. Like you're in a lot of ways, it does replicate that experience. And it is funny. I hadn't even thought about it as like a pseudo bullet hell, but you know, that kind of ties in with like the other game that we're going to talk about, which I hadn't made that connection. That's kind of weird. Like two games that are weird takes on bullet hells. But uh, yeah, I just the thing that this game does different from Zelda 1, which I'm like I'm not a huge Zelda gamer either. But I did play a lot of Zelda 1. I played like Link to the Past. Um I played like some of like the mid 2000s like Phantom Hourglass and Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and whatnot. But like I'm not like the biggest Zelda mega fan, but I like what I like in those games that I struggled to find in Binding of Isaac is like those games felt like adventure games, you know? Like it felt like the game wanted me to, you know, it wanted me to find the secrets. You know, it wanted me to figure out how to find them. It wanted me to feel clever when I figured it out, and it wanted me to like you know, to like it wanted to provide all the pieces to the puzzle and have me put it together, and like the reward at the end was like satisfying my curiosity. I never felt like my curiosity was satisfied in Binding of Isaac. I always just felt like my curiosity was like kicked in the nuts. That was basically the difficulty with it for me. And like that's why I like to me like I don't know, that's like the most important character trait that I like value in myself is like that I'm a curious person, that I want to, you know, I don't want to know like why. So like I don't just want to know that something is a way. I want to know why is it that way, you know? I spend a lot of time like we do like trivia and shit together, and like, you know, I'm always like, oh wait, he was in that movie, and then like, oh, what was his deal, you know? Like we're like I that is like the kind of person that I am. And so like this game was almost like maybe like offensive to me. And I know that there was a whole thing with like, you know, like kind of like Christian, you know, because of the subject matter of the game, there was some you know, backlash from like certain conservative Christian groups and stuff. And I'm almost in their camp despite not having anything else like alignment with them. But I'm almost in their camp where I'm like, this is like maybe the most offensive piece of media that I have ever played in almost any capacity. Like,
Damn,
like,
user busted out his cardboard cutout of George Bush from his closet when he played this.
This game like attacked my spirit, brother. I don't want to dominate though. So I'm gonna pass the ball back to Henny. You got the rock. Lay a demonstration for us.
Well, you got rebuttals of that issue was saying?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, he feels how he feels about it, I guess.
Yeah.
What I was thinking, like, yeah, it's definitely not like on the Zelda side as much as like there's not much of a puzzle. I do see that, and like it can definitely feel like sometimes, oh hey, I got lucky, I got the right item. This is a one run, especially for specific items. But I think that's also what makes it more of a roguelike. I mean, it's more, it's that randomness that really is what a roguelike is usually from the original game of Rogue.
Yeah.
And that's why I enjoy it a lot. Every run's different. The game has infinite replayability in my eyes. But yes, I would agree with you. The weirdest part of the game is definitely like the story, and I don't know. I think it's definitely like just trying to be edgy for the sake of being edgy. I feel. And I think that's kind of the one downside to it, and why I couldn't just recommend the game to anyone, you know, because somebody's gonna stroll up on that and be like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
So I get that.
I grew up as a Newgrounds kid, so I had an immediate attachment to the game just right off rip of playing Flash games my whole life as a child, and watching rated A Flash films on Newgrounds as a kid. You know, not to name them, but like the edginess and everything that this game encapsulates, and kind of like the whole how the game's delivered and the aesthetic of the game was like right up my alley. It's disgusting. It's it's fire and shit everywhere, right? It's a very disgusting video game, like really.
Yeah.
But what I'll say is I actually had a really good time playing this game, and I grew up on a lot of Zelda games. OG Zelda's Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, blah blah blah. But I wasn't even really thinking of the correlation between like a Zelda game. I was just having fun with the dungeon crawling aspect and the randomness of the game. I think even when it comes to the story of the game, how I like to play this is I beat Mother once, and then if you go to the Steam Workshop, you're able to get the item identifier or whatever. What's it called? Like
item descriptions, something like that.
Right. It basically just lets you know like what they all do or what they are, whatever, right? I didn't want to use that, bro. Like, I like the idea of going through this game blind and popping as many pills as you can. And if it debuff you, they debuff you. If they buff you, they buff you. I love that aspect of the game. I, the gamer, will suffer as much as Isaac has in the game, right? If I get a bunch of negative stats, so be it. We will see how this run goes. I think out of all the runs, I only was like, fuck this. And I only did that once and backed out of a run because it was like that bad. And I was like half a heart away. I would have died anyways, But I love the pure not knowing where the run's going to take you every time you hit the start button. I've put like 15 and a half hours into the game. I have beat the Mother's Heart 4 times, and I have beat Satan once. So I didn't fulfill my prerequisite of the deal, but I got a pretty good healthy chunk out of it. So I'll definitely be going back through that game at some point so I can get, I think it's Isaac you need to fight on the 10th run. Am I right on that?
Yeah, instead of going down, you go up to have up to the cathedral instead of Sheol, and you will fight Isaac.
Okay, perfect. I'll definitely be getting that done at some point. Yeah, I've got like it didn't blow me away, but I was just having like an addicting good time with it. It's you can really get lost playing that game, and I'd say an average runtime will take probably like, I don't know, 25 to 30 minutes, something like that. So like if you're deep in a run, like if you lose on like, I don't know, the 7th floor or something, it really does feel fucking shitty. But a lot of the times, like if I was at the 7th floor, my run was pretty juicy and I was able to get through it. It would have been my own fuck up if I lost that run because the build was so beefy. So I do like the balance of that too, to where if you're really good, you're pretty much guaranteed to go through the whole way. But there are times too to where like halfway through a run, I was scraping by on one gray heart the half of the run. And then to explain a gray heart, like there's no recovery from it. Like you're not getting healed like at all.
The soul heart, right?
Exactly. But then out of nowhere, from that one gray heart, it only took one floor to get me 5 reds. Like that's how random this game can be. Like I don't know, somebody up there was looking at me gaming. Like gave me some juice. So yeah, that's kind of my experience with the game. I liked it a lot, and I need to play more. I gotta get like at least the Isaac boss defeated. So yeah, I like it.
DLCs when they go on sale.
Okay.
Know that.
Okay. Okay.
There you go.
I also wanted to add, I think a lot of what I get out of the game, because I think this is a cool aspect. You know how they say like solitaire, like do they say that 100% of every game is winnable, or is it like just like a high like 90s, like 99%?
Is that a user question?
In solitaire,
I don't know with solitaire if solitaire is like a fully solved game.
They say something like that. Every game is technically winnable, but yeah, I don't know for sure.
Yeah, there's some solved games. Like Like tic-tac-toe is a solved game because you can always get it to a draw. Like the game state, once you understand certain pieces of it, you can always execute the same commands and achieve the same result. Yeah.
I think that's a cool aspect of Isaac is the fact that like I enjoy, even if the run is just like shit, like I'm getting horrible items, I enjoy the fight to try to beat the run because most runs are probably winnable. There are, and I found this out the other day. There are impossible seeds out there, because of the random character. You can like run into one of the champion enemies too early that he like regenerates whenever you like they fall into that little pile of like blood and gush or whatever, and you have to kill that to get rid of them. Well, some Eden runs cannot kill that in time, so
Like
it's literally an impossible seed.
damage
Yes, because Eden randomizes his stats every run, so he can get really shit stats.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty funny, but there's not many of those that we know of.
I do have a really cool gamer XP club idea that we could do for a video, and I'll just say I'll leave this in the podcast because I think this is a cool idea. In the game, you can choose somebody's seed run to play through their run, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there is a run that is so obnoxious and random and hard to get through that one of us get to, we should save that seed run to see who gets through the farthest in that run. Or I feel like there's cool challenge videos we could do with Isaac.
I'm trying to figure out where he is. He's gonna be cut to be pointing to the right place.
Yeah, I'm above you. I'm above you.
No, not you. Not you. I'm not pointing to you.
You point. Oh, he's below you.
Hi.
All right, there we go. Wherever he is,
You guys can mog on me in Pokemon, but I will mog on you both in Isaac for sure.
Yeah, that I do know. That I do know.
Hey, we'll see, partner.
We were doing, we had that like friendly back and forth, talking a little trash and stuff. I've tapped out of it. It's a young man's game. I'm retired now. I have no. I will make no claims or anything about my prowess in Binding of Isaac. I suck shit at this game. And I ain't winning that contest, but I'll participate.
Hey, I'm older and more uncoordinated than you, and you got mollywopped.
Oh shit.
Whoa.
Yeah. But yeah, you can write up any excuse you want. That's all I gotta say.
It's a tough world out here.
User talk about his his
tough world
selection in Nier.
Yeah, tough world for you. I'm eating good.
Yep. He's over here like, bruh, I blasted through Nier in the 2 days. I did 0 side content and I played on easy. I'm like, all right.
Nope, right. I did some side content too, actually.
All right. All right.
Yeah, it's just I knew the task at hand. That's all I gotta say. I knew the task at hand. I got the job done. You know what?
Well, we'll get engineer.
That's better than I can say.
Hey, I might not last as long as you want me to, but I'll get the job done.
God,
I don't know if we're talking about the game anymore.
I don't either. But let's get back to Isaac. So, yeah, Big Henny, you called the game gross.
It is disgusting.
What I had written down is the first line is truly one of the most vile, ugly, disgusting games I've ever played. Because I mean most of this game, and I just keep going back to the dichotomy too, because I just find it interesting with Nier and with this. Nier is all machines. You know what I mean? It's all like manufactured, artificial. It's metal and it's wires and it's electricity. This game is flesh and blood and bone and shit.
Yeah, macaroni in the pot sounds. Macaroni in the pot sounds.
Yep.
Squishy.
You're literally fighting giant things that look like masses of tumors or something, and you're fighting flies dropping piles of shit, and you're like
farting on them too.
And it's obnoxious, and it is like I don't know. It is like, to me, I'm like, I mean, it certainly like stands out. Like, it's funny, it stands out now because this game has like stood the test of time in a way where like a lot of games, like, a lot of things on like out of that like Newgrounds scene and stuff were doing things like this. Like, this fit right in at its home at that time, but like, now looking back, it's like nothing else like that exists anymore. I guess we just like forgot about the rest of that shit and kept this one. Um, but like, yeah, it is truly like it's so like it's just so ugly. Like all the characters look like little freaks, and like all the like, and that is a tough thing for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like in this, like the aesthetic of a game, it's important. We had that discussion about like you don't, you know, they say don't judge a cover by the book, but I was like, if a book cover was a man spreading his asshole, you aren't gonna read the book. And that's a little bit of why I never got into this game. Is I was like, I just think it looks ugly, and that makes it like I don't know. It just makes it difficult for me to want to play it. Like I want to play games I like looking at, and like a lot of times I don't like looking at this game. I especially don't like looking at this game when you get to the womb or whatever, which is already a gross enough thought. But then
That's
it
a
also
fever
just
dream.
for no reason. For no reason, they just put a fucking migraine filter on it. Like it's like a CIA torture invention. That room is like it just drives me fucking insane that looks like that. Like
It's never bothered me. So
No, I
like,
was
literally
scared.
hurts my
I was
eyes
scared
so
when
bad.
I first got in there.
Oh, I'm not scared. It literally gives
I
me a
was.
headache.
the filter on it, he didn't like.
Yeah.
No, I know that. That scared
off.
me.
Yeah. But like, yeah, that red light filter, it just like literally like I'm like trying to play the game and it's just like right here in the middle of my head, just like fuck. Like behind my eyes, pain. I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro. So like it's just like it is crazy how like you're gonna hear me say a lot of things about this game. Like I said, vile, disgusting, ugly, offensive to my sensibilities is what I would describe it as. Uh, it's clunky, it's dated. Like maybe I'm just spoiled by like the modern roguelikes, and I understand the importance of this game. I really do. Like I understand that like all the roguelikes I like now would not exist without this game. I don't know that this was the first one. Like I don't know. Like I remember Spelunky was also like an older like roguelike kind of game. Like the first risk. I don't know what the first roguelike to popularize the genre in the 2010s and revive it is, but I know this game is important in that process. But like modern roguelikes, I do understand the critique and what you say, Jabin, where it's like, you know, Isaac, I do respect that Isaac gives you bad items. I do. I like that not everything in Isaac is upside. Like sometimes you have bad runs, and sometimes you have to work with what you're given. And ideally, when you do make it to the end on one of the runs, that makes it all the more satisfying and rewarding when you get there. But I just think so much of the design is like baked into just like punishing you for no reason. Like a game that doesn't tell you what any of the items do and like doesn't like for a lot of the pickups like there's times where it's like you get an item, one of the ones you can't drop, like one of the ones you can have infinite of, like I don't know what they're called, but like you pick it up and it's like something
Oh,
up,
the golden key and the golden bomb, is that what you're talking about?
no, I'm talking like because you have like your activated item at the top, and then you have your like trinket thing at the bottom, and then you have just like the items that boost your
It's
stats.
like passive items.
Yeah, the passive
essentially
items.
what they're usually called. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like so you can't like drop them. So then it's like every time you like potentially pick one up, it's like it might be like speed down, and then I'm fucking crawling, and my already 30-minute run. It's like okay, if I do even make it to the finish line and win this, and now it's going to be an hour long because I'm just fucking crawling. Like it's just so much of the game is just like it feels like it. I don't know, just I can't stress enough. Like every new run found a new way to piss me off. Like it really did.
I want to add in something really quick.
Find it odd.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I'll let you go in a second. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I just find it odd that like you're about the curiosity thing, but like I really thought like I don't think I will have much more fun with Isaac until new content comes out. I still love the game. Don't get me wrong. Like, but nothing's necessarily new to me. But I thought when playing through Isaac, the most fun thing was learning what those items do when I picked them up. I enjoyed that aspect a lot. So, but go ahead, Annie.
I got a lot of value from that too, but I wanted to touch into something to what user was saying earlier. It was whenever he was saying, this game feels dated, which I want to like kind of draw a line between the words dated and clunky. I don't think this game is clunky, but it is dated to where like
I said it's both.
Yeah, the skill issue, but what I think is the reason why it's dated is because there's an adjustment period to figure out how the game is laid out, because it was previously a Flash game, and it kind of translates those like same kind of mechanics and movements over into like Rebirth, which I don't know, that's not Flash game, but it's kind of like mirrored off of it or whatever. But there's times when you're shooting your tiers in the game, and I mean, they don't shoot straight. They kind of go up and down, and they're kind of randomized a little bit, and the movement is like, it feels old. It doesn't feel like as tight as like a modern video game would. So I would say it doesn't feel clunky, but it feels dated. And it's kind of like the same feeling of when I first started playing Dark Souls 1. I don't think that game is clunky whatsoever. That game feels really good as like a decade older video game, but it's just dated. That's just how the game was by the time it came out. Like it was a really, really good feeling video game at the time it came out, and it's still playable to this current date and time. And I feel that I wanted to draw those two conclusions from Isaac to Dark Souls 1, that when it comes to movement and playability, kind of the, I don't want to hear no clunkiness.
I do think it's clunky. I think any game that has the goddamn text of the game is clunky. Are you kidding me?
What you mean?
The whole experience is clunky. Okay, every item having a description that's like, you pick up a tarot card and it says like, the light shall reveal the way.
Yeah.
Like that is like, it's bullshit. the goddamn trying to aim at an angle. Like I get, because you can't
you cried more than Isaac at this point.
Okay, I'll just. I mean, I can shut up if you guys don't want to hear. You asked me to play the game, and then you asked what I think about it, and then I tell you about it, and then you just take a shit on me. So I can leave. You guys can finish. I can get out of here. I can go away anytime. That's what you want.
Oh,
God damn!
These two are gonna brawl.
I got him. No, I value your experience.
Yeah, I just think trying to. There's so many times where it's like, okay, there's one of the types of enemies that so many situations where I'm trying to shoot at an enemy that's like patrolling stuck up and down in a thing, and I have one little window of a hallway to shoot him through, and so I have to walk and try to angle my shot inside, and it just at an angle, and it's miserable. It takes 48 minutes to kill this one fucking enemy.
Yeah.
How is that not clunky? I don't understand how you could literally say that's not.
I think that's part of the difficulty of the game,
Yeah.
personally, but.
And I'm not even saying, when I say it's clunky, I'm not even, that is far from my biggest issue with the game, is that I perceive it to be clunky. I'm just saying that's crazy to me. I don't know how you could have not encountered situations where I hit these points of massive frustration like that, where it's just like I said, trying to aim at a fucking enemy doing that shit, or I don't know, and back to that is my, at the end of the day, my biggest criticism is just the fact that I felt like my curiosity was routinely punished. Whenever I would find a new item and it the game doesn't tell you what to do. Normally, I don't mind having some risk and reward. I like a little bit of gambling. You know this about me. I like a little bit of gambling. I can get down with it. But what I don't like is it just never feels it almost feels like the best Isaac run in the world for me is one where I could just start with a character with like higher stats above average and never pick up an item.
Yeah.
And like that's boring to me.
Yeah, you
You know what I mean? Like,
you
I
don't like
just
it when the house wins.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. This feels like gambling in, it feels like gambling on one of those roulette boards where they add the 000, so your odds are like one stage lower even than normal, you know what I mean? Like it's like you feel that little at first you're
Look.
like, oh, one more space on the roulette wheel, that doesn't add too much. But then you're like, oh no, that fucking ruins my goddamn experience. And my experience was goddamn ruined.
In gambling terms, how this all went down was the casino was paying you pretty early. You're playing the games, you're playing the slots, you're cranking the thing, and they're giving you some cash outs, and you got a dub kind of like off day one. You're like, oh yeah, this is feeling pretty nice. And for me, I pulled out a life savings and I lost it all. And what I did was I went to go to title loans and I got me a check over there. And then I really started winning and I got it all back. And I went down and way up. You went up and way down. That's what happened.
I want to be clear. I'm not talking from a position of like frustration. Like I could be I'm winning runs and not having fun. Like I'm not approaching this from a position of like, oh, this game is bullshit. Like, because like I don't. That's where I'm at with it. I'm not like, this is not me just coming in here being like, oh, I can't play the game. I can't.
No, yeah.
That's not the issue. Like I'm just saying like so much of the more I play the game, the more it feels like I should just ignore all of the video game systems and mechanics or download a stupid mod that tells me what the items do. But I think that's also horseshit. I shouldn't have to goddamn download a mod to make the game playable. That's another take that I have. I'm with you, Big Henny. But yeah, I just like.
Hey, it just treats me good. It treats me good.
But it's just.
Before that mod was a thing, I had 7 tabs open of Binding of Isaac wiki to look up.
Yeah, that's like I literally don't know. How
when I was going through.
That sounds like that's a classic struggle. That's a classic struggle. I like that.
I love wiki games though. I love just looking up what stuff does. If it's not told. So
I don't mind like like I don't mind in obviously like Elden Ring does some stupid shit with like, oh, you have to do this gesture in front of this wall to like
you need a wiki.
That's dog shit, and you do need some of that for that. But
that Dark Souls 3.
I don't mind picking up an item that like I don't know what the fuck it does. Maybe I figure it out. Maybe it's in my inventory at the end of the game, and then one of my friends is like, why aren't you using that? It's really good. It would have it like made this so easy. And then I'm like, I didn't know what it did. Like I don't mind that experience. But in this game, it's just like I feel like you have to dangle a carrot on the end of all of your open-ended. If you're gonna leave things questions, the answer can't always be no. It's got to be yes 50% of the time at least. And I feel like it just a lot of the times it feels like it's yes 40% of the time and no 60% of the time, and then I don't want to do it. I'm not excited to pick up a new item because I'm like, how is it gonna fuck me this time? You know what I mean? Like that. I'm not excited. Like I don't know. I'm not the kind of like when I was playing and I was like, oh, so just all the pills suck, and you're like, yeah, don't use them unless you have the item that makes them good. And I'm like, well, then like, what's the fucking point?
Or your
different philosophies on that.
Yeah,
different philosophies on that. It's smarter to not use the pills, but
you can be a man, take a ball.
Hero will always use them. I will sometimes use them if I'm desperate.
Mm-hmm.
So
me and Hero know what's up. We're popping Zanies.
I did it first for the longest time. So don't get me wrong, it's fun. It's more fun that way.
Yeah.
But there's less bad outcomes if you don't pop the pills.
Yeah.
That's probably
that's just like I just look at this from a position of like, again, maybe I'm jaded on like modern roguelike design, or like I'm spoiled by it. Maybe I'm like trying to approach this from too heavy of like a game theory, like game design perspective, but it just feels like it's such an easy fix. It still adds so much texture to the runs. It still makes every run feel different. It still like doesn't make it completely, it's not free, but just make every pill plus stat minus different stat. Like it's such an easy fix. It's fucking so free to just put that there like that. and have that be your, random. Maybe you drop your speed. Like maybe you're a build
There's an item that does
want
that.
a lot of speed. There's an item that makes
There's
pills do
there's
that.
an item. Yeah, there's an item that makes it's a. I don't think it's in Rebirth. I think it's probably like Repentance or Afterbirth or something.
That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't need a damn they're asking me to build a goddamn IKEA table right now. I don't give a shit about that. I'm talking about I should walk in and be able to eat my breakfast. Like I should. That's what I'm saying. But
I genuinely think the DLCs do improve the experience with this game, though. So I think that would help a lot too. But
shit, I'm gonna have a good old time.
It should not have to be that way, but at the same time, it's the price of a full game with them all. So.
And I'm not even like coming in here like I'm not. I know I'm doing a lot of a lot of I'm putting a smear campaign out against Edmund McMillan or whatever, but that's not like my intention is not to be like don't play this game, it sucks, or like convince you guys that this game your guys. I'm just putting my side of things out there, and like because I find it interesting how like I said, I've never had a game like I've been frustrated at games before. I've disliked games before. I've never had a game like crawl into the back of my head like this and like attack my pleasure centers in the way that this one did.
Damn!
It's a bizarre thing. It really is a bizarre thing.
Hey, Edmund, all I'm saying is check out my gameplay, God's Chosen Soldier. Really had a good time going through these levels. All I'm saying, no strays from me. Hey, I've been playing Eugenics too. That's a good one too. And might I say, that's even more my bag than Isaac. And I'm kind of rocking with both of these.
Honestly, I dropped Eugenics after like 5 hours too. I won't even lie to you.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shit, well, there's a guess that's not coming.
Yeah. I think we just have different. I respect both. Honestly, I respect both games. I'm not, Javin, how many times you hop in the call and you guys are playing Counter-Strike and I'm like, embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like that's a game that I judge you for playing.
Heavily.
It's a game I don't like and will make a judgment call. But Isaac isn't like that. I still respect this video game. I still respect Eugenics as well. But they are not my bag, bro. And I think that's part of it's like when it's a little bit with this exercise that we do on this podcast. It's a little bit of, it's like when you read a book and that you have to read for school or whatever, and like it makes you not like the book because you're having to play it sometimes. You know what I mean? Or like you don't like you. It's like you read To Kill a Mockingbird, and it's like this is a fucking amazing book, but it's like, man, I'm kind of pissed that I have to sit down and read this. I want to be outside playing with my friends or whatever. Like there's a little bit of that, and so like I do feel like just in the act of doing this exercise, the negativity is dialed up. Maybe I'm just a curmudgeon. Maybe
can I say something real quick, because that what you just said was interesting, and then after what I'll say, we'll go into some reviews so we can move along, okay?
Yeah.
But you said forced to sit down to read something, kind of make like when you came to a book like to read To Kill a Mockingbird's good, but I'm forced to read this.
Mm-hmm.
I was forced to read Walden by Henry David Thoreau, and I love that book.
Mm-hmm.
And almost that translates to this gamer book club stuff with my whole experience of like being sit down to force play all these games. I'll be honest, I'm scared to play a lot of these games firsthand, be like, man, this is going to be some ish. And then I'll play and I'm like, like these are good. Like I've had a very pleasant experience this whole way through. Besides you all destroying on Ultimate Spider-Man. Like
it deserves.
You cannot in good conscience tell me, bro.
I can't.
You stream Ultimate Spider-Man and you come back and tell us it's a 10 out of 10 video game, and we'll see what happens.
Bro, I would enjoy it off of some nostalgic reasons, but when I was watching it, I was like, damn.
I really fucked up.
I would say like it is hilarious where like when you're talking about those reviews on that backlogged website for Ultimate Spider-Man, I think they haven't played or seen the game just as long as I have. I gotta say, because that's got to be it.
It's tough. Unless me and Jabin both played through that game and we somehow missed something big. Like there was a big missing piece that made it just oiled.
The game
greased all the
changes
wheels.
halfway through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we just
yeah.
missed it. Unless something like that went down, I don't know what to say with those backlogged reviews. But
Right.
yeah. So anyway, all to just put a cap on what I was saying before is like I think that's like the negative, because if I was just playing Binding of Isaac and there wasn't any like pressure to continue playing it, because like I might have like been like, okay, well, but it's like I was clocking in at the Isaac factory, you know what I mean? I'm starting up my shift, and so it's like I gotta set aside this much time and play the game X amount, and then like that just elevates the frustration. But I'm like, I don't know, let's just get into the reviews. I've said my pieces, so.
All right. You can say your review too, Jabin. I'd say I don't know how we want to rank like this episode when it comes to the reviews. If your review gets excluded or we want to include it, I don't care how we do it now. We can.
I'm gonna say it anyway, but I'll do last.
Right, like it's all a bit. I figure we'll figure it out later. But like the reviewing system is a little bit of a mess, and it'll be more consistent in the future. But I'm gonna give this game a solid 8 out of 10. This game was highly addicting and action packed and fun and random, and I did not know what to anticipate for every single run. Highly engaging, and it's hard to put down. It's extremely hard to put down. And it's when it comes to a roguelike, this is kind of more my bag compared to a Balatro, I would say, just because of the play format. Balatros kind of fits all of that criteria too. This is just going to edge it off of a solid preference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Different play styles of games entirely. So
exactly. It's just a preference thing.
Yeah. So I know I came in here and talked a lot of ish on this video game. I'm not probably gonna come in as low on it as like you might think, given the things that I've been saying, because like I said, at the end of the day, I do respect this video game. It's a bit like I feel like with Isaac, maybe there just is like a maybe it's like a wrong place, wrong time kind of a situation. Like I could see in the future, maybe months, years, whatever down the line, I start it up, I play a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, actually, this is fucking fire. You know what I mean? And I like, as much as I talk about how ugly it is, this and that, like it is an ambitious game, and it's an important game, and I respect it. But I did not very much enjoy my even from the jump. I never got to a place of enjoyment. Like I started off and I was like, I was confused but interested, and then like I became like still confused and disinterested, and like that's kind of where I ended. But again, I could see myself coming back, so it's definitely not going to be like as bad as the score as I've been to some other things. I'm going to say probably like a 4.5. That's where I'm at on it.
Or Tony Hawk, I'll take it.
What would be really interesting? I think we should have a little award ceremony at the end of the year, and we should find some stats. Some stats for the podcast, and we'll do a little award ceremony. To see who has the most negative reviews, who has the most positive reviews, who has we'll be like piecing through some certain things. I think it would be very interesting. We'll have an award ceremony.
Bonus stars.
Yeah. The bonus. Yeah, who wants some bonus stars? That I like that.
I suppose it's my turn to rate the old Binding of Isaac.
Yes, let's hear it.
So, I've thought through this very thoroughly, and I think it would be wrong for me to give this game anything less than a 10. This game is a 10 for me. I think the only downside to this game is the just the story arc, the overarching story and stuff like that. But that doesn't bother me. I like that kind of humor. That doesn't bother me at
Mm.
all. So I think that's the only reason why, because it's hard to recommend it to everybody, like I said earlier. But yeah, I mean, I can't think of many games that are a 10 out of 10, but I think this game's easily a 10 out of 10 for me. I mean, I put 600 hours in it. I really feel like no other roguelike has had the pull on me that this game has had. Um, the other one that would be close is like Enter the Gungeon, because it's still that one's still more like Isaac. But whenever I play a roguelike, I'm always like, I am every roguelike I play is compared to Isaac in my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's why like I can't get down as much with Hades. Like I'm not bad. I'm not bashing on Hades at all. Hades is a great game.
Yeah.
But I
You
just
got your
think of
benchmark.
I just think of like the Northern Lion thing, he's like
Mhm.
with everybody's obsessed with the take threes, but you really just need to do the take one,
Yeah.
and, that sort of thing. So yeah, game's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, because that's your benchmark, and that's how you like rank what could compete against it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like that. that.
One last thing that I want to say about Binding of Isaac, because I had this in my notes and I realized I skipped over it. Another problem that, like, part of what made this not click for me in a roguelike in the same way that newer games do is it never felt like it didn't feel like you had much agency of, like, this is my build. Like, since there aren't really choices as such, like, yeah, you'll get stuff that affects what your setup is. You'll get things that make your tiers larger, fire faster, whatever, turn them into laser beams, whatever the deal is. But like, it's like, some video games, it's like, I am taking all the things that say frost damage, and I'm taking the stuff that makes my frost damage slow them, and I'm taking stuff that makes frozen enemies heal me when they die, and I'm taking stuff that, like, you have a build, and you take items, and you make choices and decisions to, like, execute and develop into, and that's, like, a part of how you can make different runs feel different, And I didn't really feel like that's, like, a big part of roguelikes for me is, like, trying out different builds, and there's no, like, builds here. It's just, like, whatever pieces you can mash together, And that was that was another tough part of the transition for me.
The funny thing about you saying that,
Mhm.
I'm more partial to the way that Binding of Isaac is over that.
Yeah.
I love that every Binding of Isaac run is truly unique.
Mhm.
I don't really I don't fuck with the roguelikes as much, where it's like, build a certain thing, build up a certain attack or whatever.
Mhm.
Which is why I'm not as high on Hades.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Different
yeah.
strokes, I guess.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it was just something I realized I had it in my notes over here and
That's fair.
forgot to mention it. So, but that was another thought that I had. But
Nice.
well,
Yeah.
Brittany, do you want to take the floor for
Yeah.
or do you have any closing thoughts?
No, well, I think I said a lot about the game. I think it's pretty sweet and short. To my overall experience was like very positive. I think I don't need no closing things about it. It's just that was a very good solid experience for a roguelike. Older roguelike too. Might be the oldest roguelike I played so far in the collection of roguelikes I played, to be honest. But yeah, let's go into Nier Automata. So, pronounce it however you want. Automata, whatever the hell.
Automato,
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Automato. Yeah. Let's get into this, because my background with this video game, good old boy Jerry. We love him. He's my cousin. Jerkface Jerry. He showed me this game back in the day. And I remembered having my PS4 at the time. I don't remember how I got my PS4, because I had an Xbox for a while and I sold that and I got my PS4. And Jerry's like, hey, there's this game that came out for the PS3 that was super good called Nier. And this game's about to come out, Nier Automata. And he showed me just how cool the trailer looked. And I was like, off of a whim, I was like, let's just dive into this. So accidentally diving into what I think is one of the best masterpieces in video gaming of all time is kind of wild to begin with. So I pre-ordered the game when it came out, played it day one, and just absolutely fell in love with the game. And the craziest part about it was I only played through 2 playthroughs, and I started the Route C. So I didn't even fully get the entire Nier Automata experience until literally a week ago. So we're over this past weekend. So that's kind of the timeline of my experience with the game. I remembered playing a lot of the side questing and stuff like back in the day. Did a little bit this time, but I was more focused on getting all the routes. So we will have a discussion of whether this is going to be a very interesting discussion because all of us have played different lengths of the video game. And depending on spoilers, you check me. Okay? Like, I'm not wanting to hinder your guys' experience. So you guys check me, okay? Because I know a lot about the base story, and there's so much to digest with this video game, by the way, aside from the point. I want to say that. This is a very philosophical, like, discussion as well. So, yeah, absolutely love this fucking video game. It's in my top 3. It's in my top 3. So I'll leave it as that. User, you can take the wheel from here.
So yeah, we were struggling to come up with a game to recommend to Javin, like, because me and Big Henny have different tastes, and the Javin has a different taste, and like finding the place where all those things like lined up on stuff one of us has played, the other hasn't, was tough.
It's hard for me because I'm a mixed bag of multiple genres, and it's very limited per genre. It's like I have a large variety of games, but it's real small.
I played 100 games in 3 genres or whatever.
Yeah.
That's more of my approach. Yeah, so it was tough to figure out. We were tossing some ideas back and forth, some things that we kind of have like maybe some attachment, but we didn't know if they were going to be like stuff that Javin hadn't played and this and that. We had talked a lot about it, and then you brought up Nier Automata during one of our like little shop talk episodes while we were just asking each other questions about games and stuff, and I think we both like immediately clicked with the idea of like, well, Javin seemed interested in the game then anyway. He hasn't played it, whatever. Let's recommend it to him. I do have a confession though. So like I had only done this was a semi-blind recommendation from me because I had only done the 1 playthrough. And so like we were recommending.
I'm aligned with it too, a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, like, not that that's what I'm saying. Like, you had like 100% of the game, but
right.
Like, we both came. It's just interesting because we both came into this recommending like. Up until this point, I feel like we've all recommended games that we're pretty damn like intimately familiar with, like to the other people. This was the one where we like kind of went out on a limb a little bit with it, because, and funnily enough, the last time I played this game was also part of a game swap with my buddy Alder.
Yeah.
So part of the reason I played it at that point, and I immediately fell in love with like the aesthetics of the game and the narrative and the themes and everything it was trying to say and do and like ponder. But I wasn't really clicking too hard with the gameplay. And I think it was just like I didn't want this style of game at that point. And so we did this little game swap, and I recommended a game to him, Xenoblade Chronicles X, which actually covers a lot. The game is sick. And it covers actually a lot of the same themes as this game. And I didn't, like, when we did the game swap, it wasn't like, hey, let's recommend each other games about, like, what it means to be human through the perspective of machines and stuff. Like, what I mean? Like, that wasn't that, like, it wasn't like the theme of the month. It was just like, hey, I like this game, let's switch them. And they ended up being very damn similar in that way. But we were doing the game swap, and then he was not fucking with Xenoblade Chronicles X, and he dropped it. And so I also dropped. I was like, well, you ain't finishing my game. I ain't
Oh,
finishing yours. So,
damn.
I never got through it. But going back on this playthrough, man, I just fell in love. And it made me really like happy with the decision to have recommended it to Javin. So, you want to pass it over to him and hear his thoughts?
Yeah, go ahead, Jabin.
No. Yeah. So I've always heard about this game. I mean, for years, and just never really took the time to dive into it. I'm not always the biggest fan of like sort of like hack and slash, that kind of combat. It's not always my favorite. I mean, I say that, but I love Kingdom Hearts, so I guess it's kind of a oxymoron, I guess. But when I first, so the first day that I jumped into this game, I put the game on hard. I didn't put it on the one hit kill or anything like that. There's no way.
No, very hard, just hard.
Well, I played through the intro 5 times, just because I was trying to like experiment with like counter attacks and stuff like that. Just trying to figure out, get my bearings for everything. So,
didn't you get an ending doing that? Like dying in the intro, you unlock an ending.
Yeah, yeah. For that.
Yeah.
So,
which is funny.
So I died 5 times. So my patience with the game was kind of wearing thin already. And I really wouldn't consider myself like bad at these games. So I honestly, I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I died 5 times. Even user asked me like, how the heck did you die 5 times? Yeah. So I got kind of to the point of like, I think I did like a couple missions for the resistance camp. And then I just kind of put the game down for like weeks. Because I wasn't feeling it. I was in a Binding of Isaac mood. I played Binding of Isaac for a few weeks. I was having such a good time while watching them play.
I'm pretty sure you put more hours in than me and Henny combined on Binding of Isaac during this time period.
I probably did. You're probably right.
I would just see that little Steam icon pop up, like, started playing The Binding of Isaac.
Yeah, because I got 15 hours. What do you you probably got more than me?
I don't know where I was at before I started.
I got like 12. I would guess that he put 30 in, though. I would guess that he put 30 in. I really would.
I love Binding of Isaac, man.
Yeah.
But so I did put it down for a while. I was just like, I don't think I'm fucking with this. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I was just like, it kind of gave me the same feeling of like Witcher 3 with the combat. Like, just like, it felt simplistic. And I don't mean that as like it's easy, but it's just like, with what I think of Witcher 3, it's just, I feel like the combat's very simplistic with the movements and stuff. I don't think it's, I don't mean easy. But with Nier, obviously the combat's not that way. The combat's a lot more technical in Nier. Different combos, all that sort of stuff. And when I started back up playing it again, literally 2 days ago, I think, because I was watching user play it in Discord, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get back up. I'm gonna get back up and going. Make sure I can get this done before today. So once I started playing it again, I could not put it down. I played a ton of hours over the weekend of this game. I did end up finishing the game once, so I got through 2B's story, or the initial story. I don't know how far the rabbit hole goes, but I mean, I really really enjoy the game. I'm planning to go back and do all the achievements. I'm planning to probably 100% the game, because I am really liking it. The fact that like each playthrough is going to be different in some way, I mean, that's definitely makes me excited to see what's more in the future and just more about the story. But yeah, I think I like the variety of weapons and all that. Trying to think of like anything else that really sticks out to me. The side quests are cool, but also just like collecting, like seeing all the different Indians, I think is going to be a really cool thing as well.
Off rip, when you were playing the game, you were riding a moose.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
riding a moose. I was streaming it to Henny like day one.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know you could do
Wait,
this.
You can do
Yes.
that?
You don't pay no attention, Big Henry. The game damn tells you.
This
You
man's
get it
riding
from,
a
like,
moose.
mandatory quest. You get the bait, and then the game tells you, like, hey, you use this. I never do because I think it's a pain in the ass. I just have a second chip like equipment set up that's just all movement speed and evade distance. And then I just switch to that and then run to the points I need to
But
go.
no, he was booking it.
Yeah,
it
They
is
go fast, but it's just like you gotta keep the items stocked, and I'll just switch to my Sonic the Hedgehog build and go run through.
It is so cool that you can like free up space in your memory by turning off HUD elements and stuff like that. It's a really cool concept, honestly.
Yeah.
I think you could make it a pretty cool gaming experience or challenge with like removing all of the HUD display stuff. I kind of left it as
done it. So
I did it before when I played originally, just to boof. I remembered back in the day, it was just all attack stats, no health or recovery or support or anything. It was just all attack stuff. And I couldn't see ish, but just damage. and I will say, like, it's super satisfying, but you got to be careful. But like anything, any other inputs that you have on the game before we further the discussion?
Nothing I can think of at this moment. Nope.
Okay. Here's what I will say, speaking on to what you said, when it comes to the story development. This is why I'm afraid to talk about certain elements of this video game for the podcast, because I am the only person so far that has experienced all of the main endings, which I don't want to say endings or pathways. So pathway A, B, C, D, and E. Pathways A and B. I will explain the pathways that don't give up anything, okay? Pathway A is 2B's story. Pathway B is 9S's story in the same timeline of Pathway A, but just through 9S's perspective. And you get a more context on his outlook onto the machines, because he's a very intelligent android. Pathway C, you get to choose whether you want to play between A2 or 9S. So once you play through 9S, like I chose A2 for my C pathway. I did that, and it automatically throws you into the other character for 9S to play through pathway D after that. So it feels continuous. There's no restart, reload, or anything. It's just C and D are boom. They're together basically. And it feels pretty consistent, and you can power through that. It's up to the very end, though, where you have to choose a character. Things happen, you get an ending, it gives you an unlock ability to go back and select chapters. You can go back to the chapter and select the different character, and you get that ending. And then after that, I will say there is a very, very metaphoric ending for Pathway E, and that's the 5th ending. And with that ending, I will not say anything about.
Fair.
There's a lot that goes into that, and it's a very, like, to the player type of ending. I will say that. It's very unique, and I think it's a complete anomaly to anything that I've ever seen in video gaming, like, ever. So that there's a reason why this is in my top 3. And I can't spoil that, at least. But you let me know about certain discussions. I might stay silent. I have no idea. You know what I mean? There's a lot of sauce I got up in here. Okay? So, user, I will lead you to kind of further this discussion to see what's appropriate for me to pitch into. So I'm not like ruining like a very top tier gaming experience. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I want to see where you take this, and then I will add in.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you, man. That's my thing. Is if you feel like you have, like, I'm not trying to censor you. You know, I would say, like, if you're given serious spoilers, we could always put a spoiler warning up on the screen or something before, but for the audience's sake. But
well, F the audience. I'm concerned about you too.
I know.
But my thing is, like, we're here to talk about the video game.
Okay.
all parts of the video game. If you have, it's just my take, Jab, and if you feel differently, feel free to shut it down. But my take is,
Got a lot of motion in me.
yeah, my take is, if you have something that you feel like contributes to the discussion that's blocked behind a spoiler, like if it will further the content that we are making right now, that's a risk I'm willing to take. But if you're like, I would say, if your goal is just, or like if all you're going to be like is like this is how the ending goes down and that's pretty cool, I don't know that I would say, like, it's got to be a big picture type of thing. But I'm on board with the idea of because we're here to talk about the game. That's part of the game. But that's just my thoughts on it. Jabin, are you cool with opening up that potential floodgate?
I mean, I'd say like minor spoilers are fine. I'm not sure I want to like know everything, especially
That's why I asked.
Since Henny was being like, this made me cry.
Yeah, because there's two things.
Surprised at that, right?
There are two things that I told Jabin.
Mm-hmm.
I said I borderline cried yesterday, and then Poland was also saying I experienced this in the game. Whenever you want to go back and try this out, you should do that. I said my game file doesn't exist anymore. And he said, okay. So there's a lot of ish in this game that is like, that's why I am treading on thin ice here when it comes to this discussion. I will follow up with whatever we can on main story stuff, but there's a lot of metaphoric conversation as well, I will say, that we have all experienced that are worth talking about. So
yeah,
user, I talked a lot. I want you to speak.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Big Henny. You write those ideas down. I'll have the game finished. I'll have the game 100%ed.
Make a full Nier video.
Well, I'm saying by the time we record the next episode 2 weeks from today, I'll have the game 100%ed. We can talk about it on that episode.
Got you.
And we can get into the deeper stuff. But no, so this game, man, this game is really something else. It's Nier Automata is okay. We have a word in video games. We have a concept for adult video games, okay, and that has a connotation and a bag or like some baggage of what it means. Obviously, this is not a pornographic video game, but it is an adult video game in the sense of like this is a grown-up video game. This is a game that presents you with like mature ideas. It's a video game that like you like. I think also part of it. I mean, I was like 22, 21 or something when I played this game the first time. And it's no wonder that like it didn't click for me the way that it did, because like I was still a kid. my prefrontal lobe was not fully developed yet. Because this is a game that really makes you think about shit, man, and it challenges you in a lot of ways. It's so many things. It's a hack and slash RPG. It's like a bullet hell like twin stick shooter. It's a like it's like a sci-fi epic, but it's also like such a deeply personal story about like connection as well. And like it has like things to say about everything from like it's got things to say about everything from like how you relate to and understand like people who are different from you and who might be like ideologically or like factionally opposed to you, but it also like to like the connections you make with like objects and animals and everything. Like it's a game that literally says like so much, and in a pretty like short and succinct way too. Like it's really like the writing in the game in so many ways is like masterful, because like so much stuff can be conveyed with like literally just a couple lines of dialogue, and they're not like big monologues. I'm talking like 2B says something, and then 9S makes like a snide remark about it, and then how 2B reflects on it, like shows how she's grown and changed over the playthrough so far, and like you can extrapolate that change into meaning like 1,000 different things. Like it's like the video game is poetry in motion. It is fucking, it blew me away. I don't know what else to say.
Jabin, what were your thoughts on just the dynamic of 2B and 9S from what you've experienced so far?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, they have like a really good, just kind of like flow. Like, it is pretty cool how like they are interacting and have their own opinions on stuff, and have their own just conversations about a lot of stuff. And yeah, I mean, it is a really cool dynamic for sure. I don't know how to put it into words, but I mean, I definitely agree with what users saying.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like because you have like 2B who's a battle unit, and she's very objective based with her mindset and military tactics, and like, we got to stick to the mission. And you see how calculative she is or programmed she is. You have 9S next to her who's very like picking up on human traits very quickly, and he's very curious about a lot of things, and he questions and talks, and he's like, hey, you should call me Nines. Like, I've got other people to call me Nines. Like, he picks up on, like, that's how you can tell he's like such a highly intelligent android unit. And it almost feels like, in my opinion, what I will say, I picked this up on the first playthrough, it feels like 2B is babysitting 9S during these mission operations. Like, is that something you picked up on, user, or have you thought of it that way?
I don't know about that. My interpretation was like, I just viewed it as like the differences in, I mean, every different type of android. There's the O series like operator androids. There's the B series battle androids, and there's the S series like scanner androids, right? Um, and like they have different personalities when you talk to each like group in a large sense. But my take on it was more so just like, well, you know, it they both like fight in combat, and like 2B's going on like recon missions with him and whatnot, but like at the end of the day, like she is programmed to be a soldier. Like she is programmed to take orders and execute them and not question, and like for her to fulfill her role the best way, it is actually like disadvantageous for her to be like curious, right?
Exactly.
Whereas, 9S, he's a scanner, like he's a scout. He's like it makes more sense for an android in his class to be more interested in like to have a more curious part of his brain where he wants to learn about this and that, because that's literally like he's programmed to do that. He's programmed to gather information and to retrieve it and send it back to the hub to like make missions flow better and whatnot. But yeah, I think that like the dichotomy between them and like the relationship that they form and like how they like learn to like deal with each other's different perspectives and quirks and stuff is like so much of what makes you stick through on that first playthrough.
Yeah.
And it's all like, it's never like, I mean, there's a couple of actual cutscenes of like you're forced to just watch them do their thing, but a lot of times it's just like you're just walking from point A to point B, like for a quest or something, and they're just talking. And it's like almost background, like you could just ignore it and be picking up items and thinking about the weather or whatever. But like, it's just kind of there. Like, it's a lot of the stuff in this game is that way. Like, a lot of the biggest ideas in this game, I feel like, are kind of, again, so far in my two playthroughs, like, kind of like almost like off the beaten path. It's in the side quests is where like, and in like data files and stuff that you pick up out of hidden treasure chests and whatnot, like that's where a lot of the game really for me has been like unraveling into this like big immaculate tapestry. But
yeah. Now, Jabin, I have a question for you. because you played through all of Route A. What would you say is your favorite area in your playthrough? You got the amusement park looking area, you got the castle area, you got the flooded city, you've got um I don't know, the boring ass fucking bunker that is sad and depressing. What was your favorite like area or playthrough part of Pathway A that you've seen so far, like landmark wise?
I really thought about it. Become its gods? No.
That was a cool one. That was a cool one. Yeah, the factory. Of course, the factory. Yeah.
But no, I really like the amusement park. I really thought the amusement park was cool. So
Okay.
I was like, I just thought that was really interesting. I didn't really expect an amusement park, but
so
it's a really cool place.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I want to lead this discussion further into the amusement park with the boss that you fight. Now,
can we back up even beyond that and go from just that part of the game? Like, I want to talk about literally from the time you climb out of that sewer tunnel.
Sure, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, well, because to me, like, I think the amusement park is the objective best answer. Like, it's because all three of us say that is the best area in the game, and it's for a reason, I think. And it's not necessarily the area itself; it's what a bunch of the things that the game does in that spot that makes it the area that it is.
It's my second favorite. My first favorite is the Kingdom Forest.
Oh, okay.
But the amusement park, I will say, there's like a bigger conversation in the amusement park that I wanted to get to.
You know, you've picked up on some things about this world and this conflict that you're a part of, and you've discovered like you're aware of this thousands of years long war that these androids have been fighting against these machines, that is a proxy war of humans versus this alien race and whatnot. And then you've seen like this new class of machine that is like godlike in its ability and looks like an android but is part of the network with the machines. Like, stuff is you've seen a cave where a bunch of robots are eating each other out and raw dogging each other.
Yeah.
Trying to cook dinner and take care of babies, and like they got a whole little civilization, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? All these things have happened up until this point. But you get to the amusement park, but at the end of the day, you have one robot by this point that has run away from you, like has feared getting into combat with you and has not engaged. Right, the rest have been just purely hostile towards you. You get to the amusement park, you crawl out of the sewers, you're back in the woods, but you can see like the castle in the distance, and you see a bunch of robots, a bunch of machines dressed up like clowns, working as greeters, and they're not attacking you. They're completely neutral. If you attack them, they'll fight back. But they're chilling. And then you can actually go up and talk to some of them, and like some of them will give you items, and like they've created this little role for themselves as like participants in the amusement park and the people running and working the amusement park, and they've just sort of put themselves into this position, not really understanding like why or what or how it's supposed to be. So some of it's stilted and weird in the way that they do it, but like there's something different about these machines as opposed to the ones that you've encountered up until this point. And to me, like that change of like introducing this, moral, because you like, I felt bad when I got to the room of the machines that were like trying to be people, and I never attack them on any playthrough when they're all doing their thing down there. I never attack them. If you wait long enough, like one of them is like, I'll get you for this, and fights you. Like, even if you haven't done anything to piss them off at that point. But the fight starts, but I feel so bad killing these machines that are trying to be people, that are not inherently like hostile against me or anything like that. And so like, but I don't know, it's just that area, like introducing a whole like network and civilization of these machines trying to be people, but understanding people through a lens that's like a cracked lens in a different, like with a weird filter on it. So like they're not seeing the natural picture of it. They're seeing like a weird distorted other thing. And then goddamn the fucking music in this area too.
Oh my god.
It's bro. I've just been putting it on. I mean, there's several songs from this game that have been in like my work.
Overall, the music is
whatnot, but-
very, very, very good.
But this song is like it's so like haunting and like, but like also like it's got this like fun energy under it. And then this, do you know what the lyrics of this song are?
Mm-mm.
Either of you? Do you know what language the lyrics are?
No.
No.
Not even a guess.
French?
See, I thought French as well.
It felt French.
Yeah, it felt French, and then I asked Supreme because she took French in high school. I was like, listen to this song. Do you know what any of these words mean, or like what they're saying? And she was like, I can't make out what they're saying. I think this is German. And I'm like, it doesn't sound. This doesn't sound like no German I ever heard. So I looked it up. This motherfucker Yoko Taro invented a language by combining like French and German and Gaelic and a bunch of other languages because he wanted to create what language will sound like in 1,000 years from now when it's like been large swaths of it have been combined and forgotten and transformed. And
That's crazy.
That's sick.
it's bro,
That's crazy.
what are you supposed to do with that? It's just the best game ever. Like, what do you mean?
That might have just changed my score a little bit. Because here's what I want to say. We're talking about the amusement park, right?
Mhm.
The boss that you fight. My question is, Jabin, have you gone through that boss fight yet with 9S yet?
No.
Okay, so this isn't going to particularly spoil anything because the game doesn't deliver you this info that I'm about to say. So,
Okay.
there is a philosopher named Jean Paul, and I
No,
believe
actually, his name is.
True.
yeah.
His name is censored.
I believe he was a German philosopher, which I think was like crazy to where you were talking about the song. This all needs to be fact checked.
I'm sure he's French.
Is he French? Jean Paul. Okay.
Jean-Paul Sartre is French.
Okay. Okay, so the philosophy that this philosopher had, I can't entirely entail to what it all fully is, but I'm assuming it's got a lot to do with like the topics of meaningless and the absence of God and stuff like that. That's going to be my overall guess. Maybe we can fact check it while we're on the podcast here, user.
He was an existentialist philosopher.
So here what makes this boss battle interesting. The robot with the top hat, he resembles Jean-Paul.
I wondered about that too.
The boss you fight resembles his side piece named Simone. She is screaming and yelling in pain, I must become more beautiful. I must become more beautiful. And it's because she cannot gravitate Jean-Paul's attention no matter what she does. You get more context of that on 9S's playthrough to where I won't explain. That fight overall is just a direct reflection of real people in a very, very exploitive, blown out of proportion way to fit the story of the video game. It's super interesting to where not only are we having metaphorical conversations of like meaning and nihilism and the purpose of life, we have direct examples of real people inserted into this game to really, really back up this overall message. And that boss fight itself is like the biggest one that I can think of that is like, hey, like, I'm going to put so much hope into something and try my hardest, and fate is just going to go the other direction. It's not going to go my way, right? Because that's kind of the overall themes of this game is no matter how hard we try to do something and move forward and do this and this and this, something bad is just right around the corner. Like, something bad and terrible and fucking awful is just right around the corner, and it's going to reset you into reality and say, nope, we are still in this stagnant, god-awful fucking place. So I won't speak any more further than that because there's what I just said. There are plenty of more examples moving forward into the video game, but I thought that was like one of the most interesting pieces of like the playthroughs that we've all experienced that I feel like we could talk about, because when you're playing through as 2B, she's a very huge mystery. Like, why does she have all these dead androids around her? Why is she like weaponizing these androids with their black boxes? They're online and stuff, and she's spinning around doing all of her crazy moves, and she's screaming at us, "I must be beautiful." Like, it's kind of like a vague mystery. And then you go into 9S's playthrough. I swear, like 9S's playthrough, like Route B is one of my favorite routes of the game, just because you get the context of the combat from Route A. Mm-hmm. And I will say, like, the dialogues that pop up from 9S, you really start to fall in love with this character, to where he's realizing all these things, and he's like, what moral stance should I really stand on? Because I'm like the intelligent android, kind of realizing what's reality. And here's what I will say too. I'm going to leave this as a mystery for both of you. The reason why the characters are blindfolded and you see the operators all have face masks, like there's mouths being covered and there's eyes being covered. I can't find an example for ears being covered, but there's hear no, see no, hear no evil.
Speak no evil.
Speak no evil. What I will say is the reason why that's all being portrayed with all these characters is because there is a hidden truth somewhere. There is a hidden truth not being spoken to these characters throughout the entirety of this game. And you'll find that out as you play through. But that's kind of why your characters are blind to everything. And there's your operators assisting you that can't speak anything directly towards you. The hearing part, I haven't picked up on that part yet. I'd like to add a metaphoric cool thing to what I'm talking about with the hearing thing, you know?
Yeah.
But I haven't concluded that. But I can get the seeing and the speaking.
None of the machines have ears, do they?
No? Maybe there's something there.
They all just got round chrome domes. No ears. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll workshop that.
Right.
Game theory we got going on.
Yeah, there's so much to chew on this fucking video game.
There really is. I mean, I have a bunch of more things in my notes. Like, I'm not even gonna. We would have to have another conversation to even get through all the shit that I want to talk about. I guess what I would like to kind of close out with or move into this next part of the discussion is, I think we are all very high on this game, in our esteem, but let's talk about the negatives. Let's talk about, because I don't.
Yeah.
For me, I can't speak for you, Big Henny, but for me,
I got some.
This is not a perfect video game. There's some stuff I can point to and criticize so far through my playthrough. I'll have a more full, complete picture the next time we speak about it. But,
Jabin, you go into your cons first, because I actually relate to a lot of the cons you brought up whenever we talked like off recording here. But you go into some cons that maybe you thought of with your experience.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some off the cuff here. I guess like I think one of my cons with it is, like I said earlier, I think kind of the combat. I don't know what it is, and I kind of feel bad that I'm going to say this since this word was already brought up earlier. The combat it feels a little clunky in the game.
You got a weak move and a strong move.
It doesn't feel as smooth as, some games that are honestly from the same era. So that's one thing. Trying to think of like anything else. Like it's honestly really hard to think of any, and that's a good thing, really. But like, because like a lot of the time, I feel like with a lot of games, you could say like, oh, a big con is like the side quests, but I think a lot of the side quests have been pretty cool. I mean, aside from the one where you bring the little sister to the desert. I think that's the only one I've honestly hated doing.
Right. Yep.
But I mean, I would say it sounds like User had some prepared, so I'll let him speak to it, and I will think if I can think of any more cons at this point of where I'm at in the game.
I'm gonna throw one out just because it's on top of my head. That fucking camera pisses me off sometimes.
Camera can piss you off.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. Yeah. The camera. I do think the problem is I give it slack though, because I think it's truly unique how the game shifts perspectives at all times.
Yeah.
Like I think it is cool. It does some weird ass shit sometimes, and I'm not gonna lie. But
Yeah.
it's really cool. So that's where I do give it some slack, and that I don't necessarily call that a con, but like, yeah, sometimes the camera can be a little messed up. But
Have y'all had the fuck ass camera glitch on the bunker?
Yes, I did.
I don't think I did.
If you run in a complete circle around the bunker, you will sometimes your camera will get like fixed right here.
Yep.
But like you're running with it rotating, and you got to like jump and like dash and like move around a lot in the air real fast, like shimmy the camera to like unlock it from its part.
Yep.
There are flaws.
You're right here. You're right here. Your camera's locked right here, and you'll move, and the camera doesn't move, and you have to do something to re-enable the camera to like lock on to your movement again. Yeah, it's really. It only happened to me once, but I
experienced that.
That threw me off when that happened.
Yeah, if you're running around the bunker a lot doing different stuff, you can sometimes trigger it. It's weird. Yeah. The camera stuff. I'm in the exact same boat as you, Jabin, where it's like I give it a little bit of a slack just because there's no other game that feels like this.
It's crazy.
And because of that, like when you tread new ground, you get to make mistakes that, other people might not, because you're doing something different. You're figuring it out for the first time. That's like my view on it. Not to say that other games haven't messed with switching up perspectives and stuff, but like it just feels like the way it's done in this game, it's
so
like
smooth.
It's so smooth, and it's almost like you're playing like a different game moment to moment in some situations. Like when you're switching from like, top down to like behind the back, like fighting in the mechs, and like when you're like running like almost like 2D like
side scroller,
the side scroller like beat 'em up, and then you go back into like 3D camera, and you're dodging shit from behind you and stuff. Like it feels like different games, like in almost
it does.
It's wild, and it feels like different games in some ways across the different. I've only had the 2 playthroughs so far, but like 9S plays so differently. You don't have heavy attacks. You don't have like as you are incentivized a lot of times to use hacking because as like combat, because like you can't combo as well with a lot of your weapons and stuff. So it is amazing how many different they really jam so damn much in this video game.
Yeah. And I need to clarify when I talk about the camera criticism, it's not about the bird's eye view or the bullet hell areas where the camera changes there. I love all of those elements. It's whenever you're just free roam running around and you're running and the camera will readjust down. Like if you readjust your camera up as you're moving, the camera will readjust always to go towards a downward position to make it in a weird perspective that you don't want it to truly be in. For me personally, I'd like it a little bit more upward so I can see a little bit more around my surroundings. And once you at this like eye level perspective, and whenever you go into enemy combatants and you're wanting to fight them, sometimes that camera can be out of the way to where you can't see the enemies. So you're relying on your lock-on system, which also the lock-on system too is kind of weird and funky a little bit, to where I had to get a learning curve to where you're not holding L2. You got to just hit L2 once and then you're locked on to the enemy. But L2 is just such a weird trigger button for a lock-on button that I will sometimes hold on to L2 and I like lock on to multiple enemies, it seems like where it'll change. But you just got to...
Lock-on works on hard, so I don't have that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so like lock on, because that's what I noticed when I watched you played. You're free aim shooting all of them, and I was like,
I don't have lock on.
I was like, damn, this motherfucker got some good aim. When he's fighting at him in that play, like I mean, Counter-Strike player over here is hitting the shots.
Controller. Controller, so
yeah, well, that's even more impressive. That's even more impressive. I ain't doing that. Like, I locked onto him, bro. Like, So
I'll lay down a mean demonstration shooting shooting people up in Nier Automata. I'll tell you that much.
Right. Shit, where do we even go from here?
Well, I still want to give my actual like criticisms of the game. So,
Oh, yeah.
like what I would say is, in addition to like, there's a little bit of, because this game tries a lot of things. Sometimes those things don't like actually like. Sometimes you can feel like the little gaps between where the edges don't fully like line up and whatnot. There's a couple other things, like I do feel like some of the character, like I think a lot of the character writing is phenomenal, but I do feel like some of the pacing doesn't service it well enough. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not doing a lot of the side quests and whatnot, like you can really blast through like a playthrough as like the 2B playthrough, right? And so if you actually just beeline the main story and you got through the game in like 8-9 hours or whatever, then it makes the like emotional journey that they have about like, because 2B starts and she's like, you know, machines are the enemy. I'm a soldier. I have to kill them, right? And then she's like, they're talking, like they're just repeating like this human language that they found in the factory. On like, you know, they're just reading like random like schedule, like they're reading the work schedule for the day or whatever, the agenda over the intercom. And she's like, what are they saying? And 9S is like, they don't even understand language. They're just repeating the data that's been put into them or whatever that they found. And she's like, okay, cool. So I can just keep killing them remorselessly without thought because they're just repeating data, whatever. And then you see, I forget exactly where it is, but like you start to see, oh, the robots in the desert. They're like android, scary, fear. You know, like they're describing being afraid of the androids, and you're still killing them. And but they're still fighting you. They're saying all that, but they're still like just willfully like rolling up to attack you first. 9S says something like that's there. It's like they're speaking of emotions that they can't understand. Like this doesn't make any sense, you know. Like they shouldn't be able to operate this way. And then 2B's like, you know, their words are meaningless. They're just repeating data. Remember, like she calls back to that first scene. But if you're like really beelining through the game, it's like, and then there's like more like that builds upon that. Like that's a consistent theme of like how 2B and 9S see the machines that they're fighting against, right? And like how much they perceive them to have sentience and how much they show compassion or empathy towards them and whatever. And if you play through the game with the pacing sort of like, I would argue the pacing as intended is you do a few side quests here and there, but if you just played through it that way, some of those like revelations and like changes in character development kind of can be like rapid fire. It's like 1 minute you feel this way, 1 minute you feel this, and you really feel it on the second playthrough with 9S when like you've already done everything once, so like you're not even stopping to smell the flowers as much. You're just like boop 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 running through the playthrough trying to speed run it. I just noticed that a little bit with the pacing and like how it affects some of the moments like that.
And here's what I will say too. If we're going to have a more meaningful conversation in the future, I have to 100% this game as well. Because what I do know, one of the biggest side quests is like very, very, very fucking huge when it comes to the overall story. So, Jabin, do you remember when you go into the shopping center and there's a robot's head that splits open and you see a mask with a face on it?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that character's name is Salim, and he's from the first game, Nier, and Nier Replicant. He has an entire side quest storyline where throughout the entire game, towards the very end, you have to fight his clones at level 90. He gives you like a lot more context of like the previous game into this game, but it's not necessary to play the previous game before this. But if you did play the previous game, it is like you're visiting an old friend again, I will say. But like a lot of people say it's so weird how obscure that little face mask is in like the playthrough of the game because you don't see him very often.
Yeah.
But if you follow through his quest line, he's very, very huge into the story, and there's a lot more to go into it. There's like a lot more, like you're onto something to where like if you really, really want the full entire full experience of this game, you do need 100% this.
And yeah, that's my plan. I had one more little like knock on the game I'd like to give, and then we can start wrapping up on like reviewing and everything. Unless you all
Yeah.
have anything else to toss in, but I just wanted to say my one last like, and all these are pretty minor grievances in the grand scheme of things, but one thing I do notice with the game is there's a lot of sacrifices for the gameplay that are meant to like reinforce like your immersion or like the vibe and like rules of the world. So for instance, like I'm playing this PS4 game that's damn near 10 years old on my PS5. No other games have any damn loading screens. Like you know what I mean? Like you do get like I'm so used to just game don't have to load. You know what I mean? So to have like the boot up sequence, especially if you're doing like a side quest that has you fast traveling to like 5 different spots, and you have to watch like this 30-45 second boot up sequence every damn time.
Hey,
It's like there's honestly times where I've skipped the fast travel if it's not a super far off area because I'm like it's literally going to be faster to run than sit through this boot up sequence.
Hey, you can play Starfield 5. You can play Starfield on your PS5 now. You want some loading screens?
It's true. I'm just talking. I guarantee the game doesn't actually need that long to load, but it has this like thing where that's a like
to sit in the immersion.
So like that's one example, and then like when you die and you lose all your chips, like it makes sense. You are a new android body. Your consciousness has been programmed into a new body. It's not going to have all the doodads put into it because why would it? But if that's the case, why do you only lose your equipment and not all the items in your bag? I'm not saying you should. That would be miserable, right? But like I don't understand, like so in some ways it theoretically reinforces the immersion, but some ways maybe, if you think about it too much it breaks down, but it's just that's what I'm getting at is like there's a lot of decisions that are made in the game in terms of like making when you're running and there's a bush in front of you or a small rock in the desert or whatever. If you're sprinting, you fucking trip over the thing and you stop running. Is that accurate to how it would be in real life if you tried to run through some thick underbrush? Yeah, probably. You probably would trip. But I'm also not a goddamn combat android, with a processor for a brain who can like analyze the environment. Like she probably could step through them without tripping, to be honest with you. But assuming
we could overanalyze the rock and not trip over it and just continue sprinting at full speed. That's a fair point.
but like just like having that be a mechanic of like, and I don't mind it as much at the very beginning of the 9S playthrough where you got to carry the oil bucket. That makes sense for that little freak to trip on a pipe like that, and it's funny. But like it's so annoying when I'm just like running through the city doing side quests and I just like clip the side of a bush. I don't even really get into it, but it's like my foot touches it and she's like just stops sprinting. Like there's a few things like that where it's like as a player I understand this is meant to like reinforce my immersion or whatever, but just in practice it ends up being a little tedious, a little frustrating, a little whatever.
Yeah.
So but again, that's all really like the grievances I can give to the game. I mean,
I especially hate that during the speed, the race challenge thing. Yeah.
I'm going to throw one con out there and that's it. And I'm not even going to elaborate it on too much because it's something you guys haven't experienced yet. Heavy plot armor later. Mm-hmm. There's heavy plot armor later that really was destroying my brain, that a lot of things could have been prevented from happening if something were to happen. But we need to make sure major conflict happens at the very end. So that's why the things were paced the way they were. But that is something that was lingering in my head. And I'm curious later down the road if it bothered you guys as much as it did for me. But that's kind of like story-wise the only con that I have. Because otherwise the story in general is just immaculate in my opinion. I don't know how we're going to rate this game. Because I haven't 100%ed it. But I've gone through all 5 major endings. and we're still on a continuous playthrough with it. But I will say, just on my end, I gotta give this, like, if I were to give it a rating right now, it's a 9.5. This is borderline a masterpiece of a video game, immaculate storytelling, and relatability to what a lot of people can go through if they're like massively depressed. Like it's a very, like, nihilism and hope are butting heads like nonstop. It's a convoluted mess, but it's awesome.
I would give it. I'm going back and forth on an 8.5 and a 9 is kind of where I was landing, because I think like some of the clunkiness, and I did have the experience of the first time I played it of like it not clicking for me and having to come back and do the revisit and stuff. But I think I talked myself through the course of this discussion into a 9 for sure. So
Okay,
I'm gonna lock it in there. 9.
gotcha.
So I'm gonna be the low rater then, huh?
Mm.
Or the lowest rating, I should say, not low rater.
It's a 2.
Definitely 1. No. I mean, what I was thinking. I mean, obviously, with how much I did contribute to the conversation, which was very few. I don't think I don't think I was as deep into the lore as you guys. Honestly, I kind of want to be. So I've kind of been between an 8 and a 9 here. So I think I gotta give it 8.5.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, like, if you're giving the game an 8.5 and you've only gone through pathway A, I think that speaks very highly of the game. So,
man, it's hard to put down.
Yeah, man, yeah, that thing's something else. I'll tell you what. But hey, close us off here. I got a fucking bladder full of piss, brother.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I'll give everybody the ratings.
Discuss next month.
Yeah, and then we'll get to that. So that averages out on our ratings to a 9, 9.5, 9, and 8.5 puts it right at a 9.
Yeah.
So that is the new number 1 game.
I think well deserved. And I, here's what I want to say. I want to keep that rating open though, because what if Jabin doesn't actually fuck with the ending when he goes through and fully beats the game? Like, I want this rating to kind of like get reskewed depending on when we fully have our full immersion of the game.
I would say so. Right now we're at 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 games in the bag so far. Maybe like by the end of the year we'll have hit like 15 or something. Like maybe just like sometime over the summer. Or shit, we could do it right after Golden Sun. I shouldn't have spoiled that.
No, we're gonna say it in this episode.
Yeah.
Just cut it out in post. It's fine.
So, but after the next game that we play for this project, we will be at 10 games. So maybe we do every 10 games, we like audit the list and we do like a little video or something. It'd be like, these are the XP grind, this is the XP grind Bible, the XP grind canon, or whatever. And then we go through and reevaluate our ratings on, maybe every 10 is crazy, but like, we could figure something else out like that, where it's like we go back and revisit the games that we've, our feelings on the games that we've already done. Maybe we could do something like that. But so we'll definitely be talking more Nier anyway for sure. But for now we'll lock that in.
In the near future, would you say?
Oh, you hear that?
Holy shit. Yes. So as I accidentally spoiled already, the next game that we're going to be playing, we're moving to a new structure where we're all going to blind play a game. So we each picked games off our backlog, 2 games each, put them into a wheel spin online, and then spun it. It landed on one of the games that I picked, which was Golden Sun, which is a Game Boy Advance JRPG. It is made by... It's made by the team who made Shining Force, which was sort of like Sega's answer to like Fire Emblem back in the day. And I've played a couple of those. I enjoy them. It's weird. I've played fucking Shining Force, but I haven't played Fire Emblem. I feel like a freak sometimes. But the Golden Sun's been on my list. I believe it's been on Javin's list for a long time. It's
Somewhat.
going to be a JRPG. It's going to be a little meaty. 20 something hours.
Yeah, I haven't heard it. I haven't heard of this in my life.
But
I'm the wild
it
card,
should be
wild child.
Yeah, it should be a fun little time. I honestly I don't know a ton about it aside that of it being like kind of in the same tradition of like classic JRPGs that I like, and it being recommended to me by people who have played it. So I'm excited to get into that one. That will be a month from now. We'll start that game up sometime soon. Get back to you then. 2 weeks from now, we'll be recording another episode, just chatting, talking about gaming news, culture, stuff like that. But until then, please remember to like, subscribe, rate, follow, comment, anything you can do to increase our engagement, and help the algorithms push us out on the platforms that you're on. It helps the show immensely, and it's super free, and it keeps us doing this. We'll probably do this anyway because we like doing it, but the more eyes and ears and views that we get, that makes it feel a little better.
Yeah, no. Also, check out the long plays because the long play episodes are video games that me and user are playing together. But they're also little podcasts within themselves where we talk about buttholes and other things like that. It's just banter on the video game. You get a visual and you get a psychotic conversation all in one. It's a very cool experience.
If somehow after this long ass podcast episode you aren't sick of us, you can check out those long plays. We're playing different games than what we're playing in Gamer Book Club. So we started out with Scalar and Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, some PS2 games from our childhood. And it's the vibe over there is just we're just drinking beers, chatting, reacting to the game.
We're getting drunk.
It's got to hang out. We're getting drunk. It's a
stream it.
hangout. And we do stream it.
as well.
We stream it as well, Wednesdays and Saturdays on Twitch.
Yeah.
Twitch channel's hosting it. But yeah, do all this stuff. Follow us on Twitch. Our Twitch links will be in the description. Follow our other YouTube channels. Big Henny's doing his food reviews.
Yeah, I'm eating food.
The video essay grind. And yeah, thank you all for the love, the support, for rocking with us as we, get into these games. It's a ton of fun doing this, and y'all make it more fun by watching and talking to us about it. So thank you so much. Peace, love, and good games, y'all. We'll catch you for the next one. Peace.